Commanders Bears. Ron Rivera apologized to Carson Wentz. Did you hear this? Ron Rivera.
Yeah, in the team meeting or what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe in front of everybody. He said, yesterday I was sitting at a press conference, and I was asked why everybody else in our conference is good, or our division is good by us. Okay? That's what they asked. Mm-hmm. And I was so appalled by the question that I could only say one word, and I just literally, Carson, you see your front row. So, quarterback. First thing I thought. Up. And then I got into a whole give and take about it all. We're all frustrated. All right, let's turn it around. Carson, I apologize that you were just the first person that popped in my head in that situation, and now we move on or whatever. And is that how it went down, you think, AJ? How does Ron Rivera address that? And can they get past it by tomorrow? Does this rally the team for tomorrow for a big win against the Bears, AJ?
I mean, Ron Rivera will be a master motivator if he could find a way to spin whatever was going on. Maybe I guess he could just say, hey, that's not how I meant it. It came out like that. I was frustrated just in how the team's doing, whatever. That's how it came out. That's not at all how I meant it. And he could try to explain to the team and to Carson what he was trying to say, but I don't really know what you can really say when you only give a one-word answer and you only name one person.
Darius, we were talking about this earlier, and the Commanders fans hate that we talk about this. But if we didn't talk about you guys, you'd be pissed as well.
Yeah, right? Sure.
So it's kind of a...
People are talking about it.
Dude, if you damned...
Damned if you do.
Don't.
Double-edged sword.
Yep. Lose.
Yes.
Boom. All those things. As soon as we all heard it, we go, head coach can't be saying that about the quarterback. That was your first response to it. Have we ever heard anything like this? Did you think back in your time of any time a coach has come out and just said, yeah, quarterback's terrible? Like, has that? I don't think it's ever happened. Honestly, that's why I think everybody's so alarmed and surprised by this.
I'm sure it's happened. I just can't think of one off the top of my head. But it was shocking, even hearing it from Ron Rivera. You know, I was coached by him for a year. So it was just surprising you give that one-word answer. When I first saw it, actually, I think it was a PFF tweet. I retweeted that. I'm like, there's no way. Like, this had to be taken out of context.
We thought it was a skit.
And then went right into it. Somebody sent me tagged me on the video. Oh, no, it's actually worse. Like, he threw it right, like, literally quarterback, and then the reporter had to follow up with some other questions. So you don't like that. That's the quickest way to kind of, I guess, lose the locker room, especially because you know, okay, that seat's getting warm. And then you start pointing fingers. As a leader, even when it's not your fault, you put the bullshit and say, hey, it's on me. I got to do better. Defense can do better, all these other things. And then you look at Carson, I think he's top 5 passer in the league right now. And then the rest of the division.
Don't look at the stats, man.
You got Cooper Rush. You got Daniel Jones. So you look at that division. It's not like that's why the other guys are winning. So
Jabba help.
Yeah.
Listen, Jabba's looking at you sideways too right now.
Yeah.
No, I fuck with Jabba.
Do you?
Yeah.
Stats don't lie, right?
Stats lie.
They do.
Yeah, especially for Carl every single year.
AJ, you hear me? They do. They're on everybody's side all the time. I can't take it anymore. Everybody has stats. Every side has stats. It's unbelievable. Carson, though, no more. There doesn't need to be any more Carson Wentz slander. He threw 7 picks in one game last year. Yeah. They were all dropped. Okay. Yeah. So then at the end of the season, everybody's like, his touchdown-interception ratio is unbelievable. It's like, watch the game, okay? Just watch the fucking game.
Too much zip on the ball. The defenders can't handle it. Too much zip.
Yeah, you're right. That's 100% the reason. But then whenever they need to be able to grip it somehow, they do, you know? So defenders can't get the grip on it all the time, but then seems like they do. Now, not just for Carson, a lot of guys. Yeah. Not just Carson.
But that's what's going around right now, too. It's like, Wentz has more passing touchdowns than, Mahomes, and more passing yards than Stafford and all these people. But it's like, hey, it doesn't matter because a lot of the stuff that he does isn't stuff you can see on a stat sheet.
Stats definitely lie, but it's hard for you to give a one-word answer and say quarterback.
I agree.
When a guy is top 5 in passing. You know what I mean? So,
1,000%.
So that's my only point.
Because he could have said, to your point of being a good leader, he could be like, when they say, how come you guys haven't won? And figured it out. He goes, well, we got it all positioned. Quarterback threw for 348 yesterday. He had a touchdown. We had a chance to win that game. We just weren't able to do it. And defense has, Chase is coming back, and there's other stuff. Like, he could have given an answer he could have utilized Carson's positives because his job is to lift up. He's the head coach of the football team. It is to lift up and boost your players.
He could have gave the cliches that we hate to hear, right? And pumped him up big time and done what we think head coaches normally do and support their team, even though behind closed doors he probably is wearing thin a little bit and kind of frustrated.
But instead, we go a bad day, Ron Rivera.
Well, and I think to your point
Had a
yesterday,
bad day. Had a bad
Happens.
day. Sorry about it.
you said, hey, if the head coach is saying stuff like this and what we've already heard about Carson in the past, where it's like he's really not that tight with, people in the locker room. We don't know if that's true, but all that stuff
Alluded.
came out.
That's all been alluded to.
Exactly. So it's like, well, when your head coach is already taking shots at a guy 6 weeks into the season, like, how's the fucking team going to respond when you come
Long
in
season.
the next day and, it's like,
Long season.
head coach hates your guts. Why should I fucking have
12
any
more
confidence?
weeks. Remember, GM, first day of training camp for the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins is a terrible quarterback.
Yeah.
Basically. Didn't say that. Remember, I got to make sure I get things right here. Kind of said.
Essentially.
We don't got like one of the great quarterbacks.
Yeah.
The NFL has a lot of good players. There are a couple great players. Our guy's not one of those.
Okay. I mean,
Below good. He's
We
right.
just gave him another deal, fully guaranteed.
Great deal.
It's first day of training camp. It's my first day as general manager of an NFL team in training camp. Our quarterback, not Pat, Aaron, Tom, those guys that win Super Bowls and stuff. But we'll make it.
we'll try.
And they've come back.
Yeah.
And I assume the GM and Kirk have become boys.
Sure.
I assume that entire building has been together. So I think to Darius's point, this is a long season. Maybe this is when Carson decides it's time for me to be the best quarterback I can be, so that whenever the coach is having a bad day, his first thought isn't me. Let's let him blame the fucking offensive line at least. Maybe that's how Carson will view it, because the hunting season's right around the corner, and you don't want to go into hunting season with bad vibes, because just like manifestation, you go into the woods with bad vibes. Guess what? You can wear all the goddamn orange and camouflage you want.
That's right.
They're going to smell that negativity, and you got no shot of killing any deer out there.
I also think there's a chance that Carson didn't even see this clip or hear this clip, because all he's thinking about
he
is
said he
fucking
didn't.
putting that new gravel down in his driveway with his Bobcat right when he gets home from work. He might not even, like Ron may have said something to him, and he might have been like, well, shucks, coach, that's news to me. I didn't,
If you wouldn't have told me,
Shucks.
I would never know.
Shucks.
If you never told me, I never know.
He actually did say that. In
It's
his press
fucking
conference.
harvest right now, Coach.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Coach, I got a new fucking Bobcat at home, okay? I had no idea.
I'm watching film. I'm laying seed. I'm doing all that. You said what about?
You said I stunk?
No, it was probably taken out of context, Coach.
Don't worry about
worry.
it, coach.
Coach, like, no, I actually.
No, I said you
brought
fucking
it up.
stink.
I
I said
said
you're
it.
the problem.
They'll get past
Look,
it.
don't worry about it, coach.
Don't worry about it, Coach.
Is it possible Ron Rivera's a John Deere guy, and that's what the real problem is?
There's a chance.
Anyone with a clue is a John Deere guy, so that could be it. But
No,
I mean,
no, because Tone said, to quote the great Ron Rivera, and the internet is telling him, "You disgusting cowboy hat wearing
I've noticed.
pig." That's what they're saying right now.
I've
What?
noticed it has a lot to do with politics. I don't know anything about Ron and his politics. I don't know if it has something to do with AJ's birthday or not.
I thought you were talking about the
What's that supposed to
offensive
mean?
or defensive coordinator for Washington. That's what it has to do with politics.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, they're tied together.
The team is in D.C. Of course, there's politics involved.
Well,
What are we
Jack Del
talking
Rio.
about?
Well,
he expressed his thoughts.
Finest D coordinator.
Defensive coordinator was celebrating
Oh,
AJ's
Del
birthday.
Rio. I
AJ's
forgot he's over there.
Yeah, minor
Yeah.
dust up.
Jack Del
AJ's
Dusto.
birthday a little too hard.
That's a tough way to start season as well. I just dealing with a full political scandal.
Yeah, it is.
Will the Commanders ever win? Who knows?
Definitely not.
New name, same outcome. Seems like. Might have new ownership. Who knows? That's
Maybe.
been reported on the internet multiple times. I've seen so many memes.
Snyder ain't going nowhere.
Well, the memes on the internet are telling us that the other NFL owners are potentially, because I guess, remember, we've talked about this numerous times with the first expose, second expose, third expose, fourth expose, law break,
Right.
Ponzi scheme, House Oversight Committee,
Poop pipes.
emails, poop pipes,
He's still in
gates
there.
falling,
Papa
Yeah.
John.
the whole thing.
Sean Taylor.
Every time we've talked about all of these things that have only happened, not Sean Taylor, but the other stuff in the recent history here, we've always, we've talked to Rappaport and we've talked to other people. We're like, can the other NFL owners say, hey, we don't want to do business with you anymore? And there actually is, I guess, a rule in there that they can vote an owner out if they feel as if, it's called for or whatever. So we've always said, like, if he doesn't get it for this, how's he going? If he doesn't get it for this, how's he? And he never has. But reports now are saying that they might think about doing it. But what the fuck does that even mean?